I trained as a Shiatsu practitioner, and I'd been doing Shiatsu for about 10 years. And then my clients who I was working with kept saying to me, "Mervin, your energy is changing. What's wrong with you? What are you doing different?" I said, "Nothing. I'm just doing my normal Shiatsu." And then I started doing some investigation, trying to find out why my energy had changed. And the one thing was, I kept looking on the internet. I saw faith healing, spiritual healing, quantum touch kept coming out on the website, and I kept thinking, well, now okay, I'll put that to one side and looking at all these other things. But quantum touch kept coming up as a technique that I had never heard of. So on the website, I saw there was a book which was written by somebody called Richard Gordon. So I decided to get it was just before Christmas, and I ordered the book, got the book, started reading the book just before Christmas, and I found that every time I read it, especially going through the first part of the techniques and doing the sweeping and breathing, my hands were getting hot, very, very hot. And that was just reading the book. That's not been on any course at all. So I started going through the whole lot and finding the vortexing and doing all the other techniques that were in the book. And I found that, right, this is what I've been doing. And I hadn't realized that that's what I was doing. My energy was changing. My energy was changing to quantum touch. And it was that came and made me feel that quantum touch was the thing I need to do. So then I realized that I needed to go and get on the workshops, because the book was great, but I wanted to find it practically. So I found who was the basic instructor who was in the UK at the time, which was Di Wilson, and she was the first instructor in the UK. So I rang her up and said, "When are you doing another course?" She says, "I'm doing one in January," and she gave me the dates. And I found, unfortunately, that weekend I had something else already booked. So I said, "When's your next one?" "Not until March." I thought, I can't wait that long. I've got to do something now. So I read the book again, and as I was reading the book, what happened was that the thing that was on that weekend in January when I was supposed to go, they rang me up and said, "Can we move it because we've got something else on?" I thought, well, how fantastic is that? That's moved out of the way because I wanted to. That was quantum touch working, that I wanted to actually move that away from that weekend. I went down, did my first weekend with Di, and I had Shiatsu written on my forehead because that's what I've been doing for 10 years. But I had to open myself up to quantum touch and found that quantum touch just enhanced my Shiatsu. So every time I was working the meridians, I found that there was more energy coming out. I'd already been able to see energy then and to feel energy with my Shiatsu, but this enhanced it. So I did that. I then did a couple of video workshops, another live basic with a different instructor in the UK, because I wanted to feel what different instructors did. And then I did my first supercharge with Alan up in Yorkshire. And through the time I was qualifying as a practitioner and then an instructor. So I carried on doing basic courses for about 3 years as an instructor, a basic instructor. And then Alan, we've been talking quite a bit before that, and he saw me at the conference at Lake Tahoe and said, "Mervin, I see something in you. Would you like the two of us to get together, because I'm looking for somebody to come and do some advanced instructing?" I said, okay. So it's quite a daunting thing going from just a basic instructor to doing some of the stuff that Alan's been doing. And so we did a lot of video conference together. I worked on some of the workshops with him and with Denise Godfrey, some of the Supercharge. And so for the last 3 years I've now been running Supercharge and Core 1 classes in the advanced side. I don't do so many basic now, but I still talk to people about basic courses. But I do a lot of the advanced classes now, the Core 1 and the Supercharge. And in 3 weeks time, Alan and myself are going to a place called Enschede in Holland, and we're doing one more Core 1 together, and then I'm finishing off my training for Core 2. So I would then be able to have the three things, the Core 1, Core 2 and the Supercharge, and I'll be able to use those techniques to teach other people the advanced courses in the UK, Ireland and Europe. So quantum touch, I find it so easy, and I find people who I teach, especially when I was doing basic classes, I found that the people who got it much quicker were the ones who don't know any other techniques at all. Somebody comes in like a green field. The people who come in who already do other modalities, whether it's Shiatsu, acupuncture, Reiki, they come in with other baggage at the moment because they've seen it. But somebody comes in who is clean, who has never done any modalities before, they seem to pick it up much quicker, and it's much easier for them because they've got no baggage to bring with them. And one example was my cousin. She always wanted to come and do a course with me. She came and did a basic class, and I found out that when she started, she was finding it quite difficult to run energy at the beginning of the basic class. But by lunchtime on the Saturday, well, we came back after lunch on the Saturday. She came and started, we did a bit of practical together with a few of the other students, and all of a sudden her eyes widened. She looked over to me and said, Mervin, I can now, my hands are tingling, things are happening, so it's so easy and so basic. So what I like about quantum touch is that anybody can do it, everybody can do it. It's an easy technique. You don't have to learn all these other entunements or the other things you need to do to get the energy running. It's there, it happens.